Hey guys, how's it going? Oh, today I wanted to talk a little about local driving versus over the road driving. And these are my opinions and my opinions only. And I'm sure everybody has their own opinions if you have done both. Um, I went from local to over the road driving. I drove over the road for about 2.5 years, and then I came back to local driving. But I wanted to talk about some of the pros and cons to that. The OTR pros. Um, Basically, for me, there's not too many pros to it. I like traveling, so I had fun driving across country. I did all 48 states, and but when you're out there, okay, I'm gonna jump straight into a con. You can't really stop anywhere to go sightsee or anything. I was always busy. The two companies I drove over the road for were GP Transco. I always get brain farts, but GP Transco was the first company. I worked for them for 8 months, and I'll get into a little bit of that. And then the second company was a Creek Carrier, and they were a little better company than GP Transco, and I'll get into that too. But as far as pros and cons to the OTR driving, I like to travel, so that was a pro for me. Um, this could be a pro or a con, and that is not having any time to spend your money. But see, the pro and the con to that is you don't have any time, but then you can always find something to spend it on, even if you're on the road. So I don't know what that would be considered, but the cons are the breakdowns. If you have a breakdown on the road, you're either on the side of the road or you manage to get off the road a little. A big con to that would be the wait time on getting your tractor fixed or trailer, or having to go to a mechanic to have it fixed. For the average flat tire that I got on the road, I'd be waiting there 3 to 5 hours, and that's all cutting into your run time. So it might make you late, but if you have plenty of time, it's going to take away your free time when you stop for your 10 hour reset. But so there for me there wasn't too many pros about it. I make just as much money on the road as I do local driving, or if not more local driving, because at the company I'm at now, I make overtime after 50 hours of work. So once you drive your 50 hours, 10 hours a day, you start accruing overtime, and it could be long weeks. If you do a lot of overtime, I've been averaging about 58 hours a week. But my checks are a little bit higher than being over the road. And the reason for that is mileage pay. You know, some drivers get paid 72 cents a mile, and ranging all the way up to 75 cents, I think. Uh, if you're at a company that pays that high, congratulations, you found a good paying company. Most companies start at 58 cents or higher if you're like right out of school, but most of the experienced drivers make a little more. Um, of course, yearly for crate carrier, I'd get a penny raise a year, which doesn't sound like much, and really it's like $40 a check. But as far as pros and cons, the breakdowns is a con. Not having very much family time. I was on the road 6 to 8 weeks at a time, so I'd be real homesick, and I just like being at the house nightly. So this transition back to local driving is a much better fit for me. I enjoy yard work and, doing things around the house and having time to do those things. I enjoy cooking a whole lot, so I like to be able to drop by the grocery store whenever I want. On the road, you rarely have time to do that. You gotta find a Walmart or something that has truck parking nearby, you know, or you can just try to sneak around their dock area, park there for a half hour while you do your shopping. And I would have to buy groceries for like a week or two at a time. And really, Crate didn't have a big refrigerator in it, so there was like a mini fridge you would see in a dorm room. But so you don't have much room for frozen goods, and that was really difficult on just having the truck stocked with food. I mean, you could put like your crock pot in there, your coffee pot, a little burner, which I had, an electric burner. But for the most part, it was difficult cooking on the road because, some of the drivers had like little barbecues they would set up, but that all takes time. And if you're doing uh, your 11-hour drive clock and you have like 2 or 3 hours in load time, you're talking about a 13, 14-hour shift daily. And you just don't feel like cooking or doing anything when you stop for the night. You just want to eat and go to bed. So most of the time when I was on the road, it was all fast foods or truck stop food. And it really, after a few months, you can really see the results of that. You can't eat real healthy. So one of the pros about local driving is you can eat a lot healthier when you get home. If you have, a friendly family that'll cook for you, you can have your meals ready when you get home, and that's been a big help. My partner has a meal cooked for me just about every night I get home, unless I go grab some pizza on the way home or something, or maybe Taco Bell or Del Taco or something like that when we don't feel like cooking. But most of the time I get nice healthy homemade meals, and that's a great plus for local drivers. You're home daily. As far as local driving pros, you get to sleep in a nice comfortable bed. And another con to the over the road was the beds were like single beds, and you don't have much room to stretch out. If you did, you'd be bumping your arms on the wall or slapping your dog. And the mattresses were just horrible. The mattresses they already have in their trucks they were thin and bumpy and springy. And I mean, I used to drive by the I-80 truck stop in Iowa? The Iowa 80 truck stop, the biggest truck stop in the world, or supposedly. But I used to stop by there and go in the little mall area they have, and they had mattresses in there. I was trying to save up for while I was driving over the road, because I thought I was going to put 5 years in over the road, but I just got too homesick. But they had like mattresses for $800 that I just dreamt about buying all the time. Every time I drove by there, I'd say, "Oh, I got to go get a mattress," but I never did. But so I just toughed it out with a small springy mattress. Anyway, another pro to the home, the local driving at home, is my dog loves it. She can run around. Her name's Misty. She's a little Chihuahua. I have videos on it. See, now she's coming over because I'm talking about her. She knows I'm talking about her. So this is my Misty. Yeah, love her, girl. So she's we got her. I know I'm not really talking about my dog on this video, but we got her like 4.5 years ago when she was just old enough to wean from her parents, and had her ever since. She's been everywhere with me. Uh, she's been on a couple local runs with me, but mainly I can't have dogs locally at this company in the truck. So she stays at home with my partner, and he takes good care of her. And she's a tubby. She eats all the time and loves her treats. And anyway, so okay, where was I at? I was at okay. So the sleeping situation in the trucks isn't that good. Um, I got some notes here that I can look back on. So oh, another con to the over the road was I was out 6 to 8 weeks, so I got kind of homesick, and you don't have a lot of family time. You miss a lot of things. You miss birthdays, holidays. I was never home for Christmas or Thanksgiving or Easter or any of the good holidays that, or like 4th of July. When you want to go out and party, you can't. You got to drive, and we all know it's not allowed to have liquor or alcohol in your truck. So that's another con to the OTR. But another pro to the local, I know I'm flipping back and forth, but that's just me. I have ADD, so I flip back and forth and I lose my thoughts sometimes. But pros to the, okay, so I have home daily, sleep in your own bed. You can see doctors when you need to. If you get sick, you can run down there. Over the road, it's kind of hard to call out sick when you're sick in your truck and you can't drive. And then it's a pain in the butt to be seen anywhere because you got to use an emergency room because your local doctor isn't around. I was in Colorado when I got sick one time in Colorado, so my load ended up being late. I couldn't drive. I was puking and all kinds of stuff, but you don't need to hear about that. It wasn't fun. Anyway, I had to take a Uber to the hospital, which cost me like $25-30, and then I had to take one home from the hospital, so that's a $60 bill right there. So, and then the hospital bills are 10 times as much as if you just go see your own doctor. So it ended up like costing me so much money that week that your check, yeah, you don't have to pay for your medical right away, but it all catches up to you in the end anyway. So you actually lose money if you're out on the road and you get sick. You're losing money that week. So buying groceries whenever I want to go to the store, or go down and get a new pair of shoes whenever you want, stuff like that. I just enjoy having the time to do all that, but everybody's different. I knew a gentleman out of trucking school that was kind of homeless. He didn't have anywhere to stay, so after he was getting his license, the company that I went through was the Nevada Desert Driving School, and they had a extra room, so they actually hired him to watch the office, or whatever you want to call it, the yard, while we were going through school. So after we went through the 2 months, he got hired on by night, and so that was real nice of the driving school to let him actually stay there when he didn't have a place to stay till he got through school. So for his situation, getting on a over the road job right away was excellent for him. He didn't have to worry about getting a place to stay. He could stay in his truck, and he really enjoyed that. I saw him about 2 months after we graduated, and he told me how well he was doing. He actually had some money, and so for different people, different situations, it could be a blessing to be over the road, or You know, it could be a downfall. But that's the decision you got to make. You just got to take everything into account before you actually go over the road. If you're leaving from local driving, and just taking into account your finances and stuff, and what you can do with and without, and if you don't need to be around people a lot, and you distance yourself from people, and you don't want to talk to many people, over the road is perfect for you. um, all you see is, security and some shippers and receivers. You don't have to spend time talking to them. So if you're that kind of person, then that's for you. But I'm more of a people person, so I like to have a home life. Um, Another pro about being home is just being able to have your pets and have them freely wander. I mean, I used to walk Misty almost every day, except for the days I would like drive 14 hours and I just didn't have time. But I would stop on my, take a little 10-minute break and walk her through one of the truck stops, or walk her around the rest areas. And no, but for the most part, I really enjoyed the experience of being on the road and seeing the different country. Like I said, I went through the 48 states, and I love seeing the wildlife on the side of the road. I saw some bald eagles in Iowa, and actually here locally I saw some down in Washoe Valley, Nevada. But the wildlife is great. I saw buffalo, in on the Denver and Wyoming border. That was cool. They were wild buffalo too. They were trekking it down to Colorado. Um, Deer, antelope, elk. So you see all that on the side of the road sometimes, and if you're driving early morning or late in the evening. Yeah, it was a good experience. So overall, I'm glad I did it. I learned a lot, and I experienced a lot. So as far as that goes, that's my pros and cons to the local driving versus the over-the-road driving. I hope this was good for you. If you have any comments or questions, you can post them down in the comment section. Let me know what you liked about over the road. If you're still over the road, how long you've been there, and different situations you might have had or encountered. Yeah, just comment. All right. We'll see you on the next video. You be safe out there, drive safe, and we'll see you next time.